Good morning, everybody. Mark Patterson, NCKFA. I'm going to give you some tips to help you be more efficient, have more fun at the Classic. I want to talk today about how to catch mullet out of the surf for the Ocean Division. I'm going to cover some inshore stuff and some Ocean Division stuff. I'm going to start out with mullet. So, first of all, when you come out on the ocean the first day, you're going to see the mullet's going to be moving left to right. That's important to know because if you're the far left person, don't wade out knee deep, chest deep, waist deep. You can get out knee deep, but don't go out really far because that lead bait fish coming down the beach can see your legs or your torso. And they're not going to just come right at you and you just throw the cast net on them. They're going to steer out and veer around. Well, then if you've got 8, 10, 15, 20 more guys lined up, that's just going to push the bait out further, making it more difficult for everybody. Instead, stay up on the beach, stay up on the dunes. Let that bait come all the way past you and then come around from behind. As long as that lead fish doesn't see you, those other fish are going to stay just in line. Think about a V shape of birds. They're going to stay just in line. Then you can throw the cast net toward the lead fish. Even if it falls short, you're still in the school of fish. So wait up on the dunes, let them come past you, go around and get them from behind. They can see you. That's why they keep being pushed out further. Don't go chest deep. Chest deep, not good. Also, practice with your cast net now. Trying to learn to throw the cast net on the beach is not the most efficient way to do things. Practice now. Don't practice in your backyard. You'll catch leaves, sticks, twigs, your dog, all that stuff. Practice on the driveway, practice on the street, practice in the parking lot. Also remember, you're not throwing off of a boat. A lot of guys come out there and they're used to throwing off a boat and they can throw perfect pancakes off a boat. But the water's beneath you on a boat. It's not that case, obviously, in the surf. So for me, at my height, I have to make the net up a little differently. I'm not able to just pull a 5-foot or a 3-foot or 6-foot net over my shoulder like I would on a boat. So this is a 3-foot net. So I fold it, pick up the lead line, make a couple of scoops with it. Then I can open it up like a bullfighter's cape. That way if the waves are hitting me in the knees, I can still throw over the waves. So that's just a tip. You can learn more about how to throw a cast net on other videos or practice. Just make sure you practice. Because throwing a 3-foot net that's opening is much more efficient and better at catching bait than a 6-foot or an 8-foot net that you're throwing amoebas or squares or triangles or a parabola. You want that net to open. Smaller nets that open, much more efficient. Keep that in mind. Okay, the other thing is if the bait fish are further out, not due, or whether it doesn't matter, if the bait fish end up getting further out, doesn't matter why, you got to deal with it. So what I've done is I've made an extension for my cast net rope. What I did was I just took an old cast net that wasn't a fish anymore that I threw over oyster bars and just shredded them. So I just put a little clip on the end. Now I just clip that on to where my hand goes on this cast net, and I've doubled the reach, and that makes a lot of difference because that way I can reach out further should the bait fish be further out. So little extension, just keep it in a Ziploc bag. If you need it, great. If you don't need it, no big deal. That's perfect. The last thing I want to talk about is how do you keep the bait alive on the beach once you've caught it? I see a lot of people catching their bait and just throw them in the bait tank. Well, the bait tank doesn't have any water in it and it's not circulating, which it can't be if it's sitting on the beach. Your bait dies, you've done all that work, you got dead bait when you go out. Bring a 5-gallon bucket with you. Go ahead and take that 5-gallon bucket, get some fresh water in it. You got the whole ocean. Put your little bubble maker in there. Take a wet towel, wet it, put it over the top. That way the fish don't jump out. Go ahead, put your bait in there. Once I get about 2 dozen or 30 mullet, I'll dump those into my bait tank, take right off. By the time I get out, turn on the pump. Make sure your battery's charged to your bait tank. That's huge. Once I get out there, you've turned it on. Those mullet are pretty hardy. They can take it in there with just a little bit of water for a couple of minutes, and you're fine. Lastly, I see this once I get out there. You've done all that work. You've got your mullet. Now you got to get them out of the tank. get a net. That way, when you scoop back there, you can grab your bait fish quickly. It's less stress on the fish. You're not leaving your tank open for a lot of your mullet to jump out. So, quick review. Fish are coming left to right. Don't wade in. Wait for them to pass. Make the cast. I'm going to keep that. Extension if you need it for the rope. Practice with your net. Smaller nets that open are better than big nets. Keep your bait alive in the tank, and then use a net to get them out. Stay tuned for the next short video.